Hi, it's David here, back covering some more blockbuster filmmaking. In my opinion, this 15-second clip of the Batman, which you just watched, is as close as it gets to a perfect movie scene. I believe these few short shots of Batman leaving the crime scene and connecting with the young boy sets the entire thematic tone for the film and sets it apart, makes it different from other works within the genre. So let's dive into the scene, its relationship to the story as a whole, and a breakdown of how it influences the narrative and cinematography of this fantastic film. First off, the scene does a great job with preparing the initial setup. A hero and a city who can both be greater than they currently are, given that they're both burdened by their past. In this scenario, Batman, the hero, is struggling to keep up as the Riddler, the villain, is often, if not always, a step ahead of him. According to Chris Lambert's film blog, Colossus, in the narrative of any film, what you typically want to do is establish a state of being on a personal level with Batman and the public level with Gotham. Once the personal and public state of beings are established or set up, the narrative usually falls into place by contrasting or accelerating the initial state of being, resulting in either one of these three: a happy ending, a gray ending, or an outright tragedy. Let's examine how both the narrative and cinematography establish Batman's initial state of being on a personal level. The young boy, also known as Junior, in this scene plays a key role in the thematic tone of the film. This is the first time Batman meets the young boy after the Riddler murders the young boy's father, Don Mitchell Sr., the initial mayor of Gotham. As Batman leaves the crime scene, he sees the young boy, Junior, sitting with the police, and there's a long beat as Batman observes the boy. And we all know what Batman is thinking at this moment. Junior is in the exact same position Bruce was in 20 years earlier, a child of a prominent Gotham figure whose father was murdered. This scene creates an obvious connection between Batman and the young boy. This clearly establishes Batman's personal state of being, showing viewers that he's emotionally scarred and traumatized. Take notice of the framing. The boy is sitting down helpless as two law enforcement officers carry out their investigation. This reinforces Batman's personal state of being to be viewed as the tragedy of his own story. Matt Reeves, the author-director of The Batman, described his Batman as emotionally stunted at being 10 years old, because that's a trauma you don't get past.
This idea of visually trying to experience the movie from Batman's point of view as much as possible, and really the only other point of view that you experience it from is the Riddler, because other than that, they're essentially scenes that involve Batman. But even that was meant to evoke the comparison between the two of them. Like they're both voyeurs, they're both watchers. And so that visual idea is something that, first of all, it's important to me as a filmmaker. I almost always approach things that way, but it's all was sort of embedded in the script.
Now, let's examine how both the narrative and cinematography establish Batman's initial state of being on a public level as it relates to Gotham City. The second time Batman meets the young boy, Junior, in the scene is Senior's funeral, when the district attorney crashes his car into the church. Bruce saves Junior, the young boy's life, by swiftly pulling him out of the path of the oncoming vehicle. In this scene, moments before the incident on camera, Bruce is deliberately framed between Commissioner Gordon and another officer as they talk about searching for Gotham's missing DA, Gil Colson. This creates the image of Bruce being the one who needs saving, much like the young boy in the left frame. In my opinion, This scene establishes Batman's public state of being as somewhat helpless, despite all of his wealth and power. Reeves explains that Bruce is still trying to figure out how to deal with this, how to be effective, but he's not necessarily succeeding. Once again, this scene represents the struggling Batman's point of view. Nonetheless, Batman is Gotham in every way, shape, and form, including the shadows. Reeves wanted the cinematography to express a deep sense of atmosphere for Gotham. The scale feels immense, enough to capture the magnitude of Reeves' storytelling, which blends inspiration from Polanski's 1974 neo-noir classic Chinatown. To bring Gotham to life, Reeves and Fraser have carefully balanced both the practical and the surreal.
Gotham City is a character, and we know that. We know what Gotham's based on. We know where Gotham's based on. And we've seen Gotham in so many different iterations from every single, Batman film ever made. And it's a really good opportunity to sort of have fun with what we know as a city, but also to take it into a slightly surreal direction. But not so surreal that it's unrecognizable. Like it needed to be, the lighting needed to be super real. It needed to be, you needed to feel like that in every scene that could have been around the corner from, the burger bar or the place where you sort of had a drink.
Lastly, let's dive into how the narrative and the cinematography bring Batman's state of being towards a resolution by selecting one of the endings that Chris Lambert's blog referred to earlier. I think we can safely eliminate the happy ending and the outright tragedy conclusion. In this scene, in the left frame, you can see Batman extends a hand to save the boy and the others from the ruins of the stadium, fulfilling his wish for salvation. In both shots, Batman is now framed on the left, effectively taking action. I believe Batman's personal and public state of being are now in contrast with his previous state of trauma and rage. Thus, the resolution brings his character towards a gray ending. In other words, this is only a first step towards letting go of his vengeance ideology and creating that renewal of spirit. The rain immediately stops and a gorgeous array of gradient orange hues fill the sky as the sun rises. The cinematography employs a beautiful yet restrained palette of colors to capture Gotham's mythic status.
Color part of it was very instinctual, but there's no question that it does reach back to the comics, even though, there aren't necessarily a lot of comic book films maybe that have been shot sort of with that idea. It was reflective of something that in our deep dive of the comics, I think was there. So it was this weird thing where we wanted the movie to feel very grounded and very realistic in a certain way, but we also wanted something that felt, to me, the movie has to have a mythic sense. Like this character's been around for 80 years. And the reason I think the character's so enduring is there's something about the tale that is mythic.
In summary, I think this moment with Batman and Junior, the young boy, comes close to a perfect cinematic scene because it provides that key to blending both Batman's personal and public state of being. Also, it provides a foundation for the narrative and cinematography to revolve around. In my mind, this is definitely one of the most visually iconic films of this year. Please feel free to like this video and subscribe. Hit that bell notification icon if you'd like to see my content as I release it. Regardless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.